What's up, YouTube? Joseph here, and I'm giving you guys a revamp of my Harpies pet dragon discussion video. Pretty much like the last one, I'll just be going over the Harpies pet dragons one at a time, and just pretty much giving the pros and the cons to each, and kind of just revamping what I did last time because with the whole debacle and everything, and my recent play of playing the dragons again, I do want to give them a shot. In terms of just the link format now being just throw out any monsters like an exceed summon, but those monsters don't have to have the same level. They just have to meet the requirements of the exceed monster, and you can go into crazy combos and stuff. So I wanted to give another revamp to this, and a lot of people were actually asking for this revamp, so I decided to do it for you guys as well, just to put it together. So I want to start this video off with talking about Harpie's Pet Dragon. A Harpie's Pet Dragon, level 7, dragon type effect monster, wind attribute, 20,000 attack, 25 defense, gains 300 attack and defense for each Harpie lady on the field. Harpie's Pet Dragon is pretty much one of the oldest cards in the archetype, next to Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady Sisters and Elegant Egotist. We're not mentioning Harpie Brother because he was not considered a Harpie monster. He was not considered Harpie Lady, and now with his his rename to Sky Scout, which clarifies that he was never a Harpie to begin with. He does not count for any card effects that revolve around any of the monsters with Harpie in their name, or card effects that have Harpie in their name. So, like I said, Harpie's Pet Dragon gains 300 attack and defense for each monster on the field that's treated as Harpie Lady, or has the name Harpie Lady. That includes newcomers Harpie Chandler, Dancer, Harpie Queen, Harpie Harpist, any variation of Harpie Lady when it comes to that effect. Harpie's Pet Dragon nowadays can easily be summoned thanks to the effect of Harpie Chandler. And primarily, and most players know this, Harpie Chandler level change from 4 to 7 is the main reason why Harpie Pet Dragon has shot up from a $30 card to a $100 card, and then dropped to a $50 card just because there was finally a reprint of the dragon outside of its first release and Forbidden Memories, the Retro Pack reprint, and now we have the TCG reprint for Joey's World, which they are Ultra. Outside of Harpie Chandler, most of the time, if you play cards like Call of the Haunted or Soul Charge, for example, just any card that can special summon a monster from your graveyard to the field. I don't have a Queen Dragoon Djinn, but she would also be part of this lineup just as a support card to summon Harpie's Pet Dragon, so that you can go into a rank 7 place or just have another wall. Outside of what Dragon does, that's pretty much about it. Dragon doesn't have any really offensive or defensive plays unless you just want to amplify it and have a big beater monster on the board. In terms of summoning, besides Soul Charge and Call of the Haunted, or just cards that can special summon it, you have Whirlwind Prodigy, which is a very old card that can special summon, that can treat itself as a 2 tribute to summon Harpie's Pet Dragon. This was a really old card from Flaming Eternity, and that was pretty much around the time where they were giving, like, a lot of new things were being added to the game. Banished monsters started getting more, the Banish mechanic, or as it was called back then, removed from play. Mechanic was getting tons and tons of support. You had monsters that were able to treat themselves as double tributes for other monsters of higher level. like level 7s or higher. You had cards, like I said, that were special summoning level 7 or higher monsters, Muslim Empire, a good example. You paid life points, 1,000 per, for the number of tributes of a monster that could be tribute summoned. So, a monster like Harpie's Pet was an easy tribute. If you could get Whirlwind Prodigy on the field, with the effects of cards like Flying Kamakiri, who I will also stress helped in just terms of stacking up tribute summons. Of course, nowadays you have cards like Oasis of the Dragon Soul, Queen Jadu the Jinn. Of course, the massive amount of dragon support that can special summon dragon, including Harpie Chandler. But I think the most effective, of course, is Harpie Chandler's effect, in the fact that it is a Harpie-oriented card, so it supports the dragon monster. Um, well, she, in turn, is a Harpie support card to support all the Harpie monsters. The thing is, Dragon, if by today's standards, is just a mediocre monster who's just an archetype to just be in the archetype to at least do something when it comes to effects. I'm not saying Dragon is a bad monster, but Dragon, for what it is now, just doesn't really fit in most criteria as a boss monster. It's just a monster that's there in the archetype to be summoned in certain situations. And for the main part, like I said, once Harpie Chandler came out, it became a star. But just for rank 7 place, to really be honest, no one ever really used it. Unless you managed it for Tempest, to some special summon Tempest. But I think at that point, most people ended up either taking out Tempest because Dancer came out, or they just found other ways to play the deck without having to really sit there on the rank 7 support. So that's Harpie's Pet Dragon. Now for the next dragon, Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon. Enemies of Justice was its first release, so not too long after Dragon's release in Retro Pack 1. But Baby Dragon's release was Enemies of Justice. Big Dragon was Forbidden Memories, the video game, and then Retro Pack when it came out in there. So Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon has 3 effects. They each accumulate for the number of Harpie monsters you control. So that does include, like I said, Harpie Chandler, Harpie Dancer, Harpie Harpist, Harpie Queen, who was not too far after he was, any variation of Harpie Lady, Harpie Sisters, because they're a card too, and of course the Harpies dragons themselves. So pretty much any monster that had Harpie in its name. This card gained its effects. Its first effect was it protects all these monsters from being targeted by battle, making it the attack target. Effect 2 is if you control 2 or more, his original attack defense doubled. Baby Dragon's original attack is 1200, so it would be 24, and its defense is 600, bumped to 1200. Its last effect, which a lot of people adored for it the most, is once a turn you can target one card on the field and destroy it, but you need 3 or more Harpie monsters for that effect to accumulate. And with the effect of Harpie Dancer, you can really abuse that. So, unlike its predecessor, Harpie's Pet Baby Dragon is a level 4. So, with cards like Flying Kamakiri, you really didn't need to waste a tribute summon because it was such a low level. 15 less than 15 attack, you can easily summon it. And of course, you had tons of special summon fodder cards to special summon from the graveyard, try to special summon from the deck. Of course, with cards like Flying Kamakiri. The bright side to Dragon is that he is a low level, so you can easily get into him. The effects, like I said, accumulate for a number of Harpie monsters that you can get to the field. So with cards like his Elegant Egotist, Divine Wind, and Harpies in his third party, you can easily get Harpie monsters onto the board, as well as the effects of Harpie Chandler and Harpie Dancer, who can help even further by just putting monsters on the board, especially if you combine Harpie Dancer with Divine Wind and Elegant Egotist, and of course Hysteric Sign, which can help you search for Elegant Egotist to help Dragon, or you can in phase get the material and flip a card like Call and such to summon the Dragon, and then you can get more Harpie pieces, especially the Harpie monster, so you can play more cards from your hand to accumulate more effects onto your pet Dragon. One of many of the reasons why I love Dragon, as terms of just an offensive monster, it's a really good defensive monster when you summon him off of Harpie Chandler, because he can protect her from being attacked at least once, letting himself take the hit. The only problem, and a lot of people can agree with me on this, is Dragon does not change its level, and in a large portion of why people don't play Baby is because of the fact Baby doesn't have a level change gimmick like Harpie Chandler does. And it hurts because sometimes some people want to go into a rank 7, but they don't want to use Harpie's pet to do such. And I've talked to many people, and they've said, that's the only reason why they don't play Baby, is because if Baby had more effects on him, then it makes, of course, the Chandler play a lot more accessible to want him on the board. But I mean, it's still a good monster. Don't get me wrong. It's just that one little factor of level modulation. But everything else is pretty much justified because you can easily just do all the stuff I just showed you. Getting a monster, using card effects such as summoning it, using card effects, normal summoning, and you spam the board with Harpie monsters to support it. So that's Baby Dragon. And we're going to go down to the one extra deck monster Harpies have. And that's Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy was one of the biggest support sets for Harpies. Of course, it introduced Harpie Chandler, who is one of the ace cards to really help summon Dragon. Another ace to it, of course, the Divine Wind combo with Harpie Dancer to span the board with enough Harpie monsters to make Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. You also have, with the assistance of Elegant Egotist, Hysteric Sign to do that as well. And of course, the Hysteric Party and Soul Charge if you want to just rapidly hit the board with Harpie monsters Exceed, and then he can protect them. So, Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, rank 4, not level 4, sorry. Dragon type Exceed monster. Effects. For the number of monsters attached to, for the number of materials while this monster has material attached to it, your opponent cannot target or attack Harpie monsters, as well as target them with card effects. It can attack your opponent directly, and during each of your end phases, you have to detach material from this card. This is technically the Harpie boss monster. It's sad that we get it in the extra deck and not the main deck like the last couple of support cards. But the benefits to Dragon is, let's start off with its material. It needs 3 monsters, 3 wind monsters specifically, to make it. And for the most part, because it's a rank 4, most decks won't do that. Or most decks that are wind don't have access to that plethora, unless you're Yosenju, who can spam a normal summon, Harpies, because of course the combinations. I don't know too many others. Divine, I guess the Mist Valleys, but they're on a stretch combo as well because they don't have enough support outside of Divine Wind or Shrine of the Mist Valley. Of course, you can try to use Flying Kamakiri, combine it with Harpie Dancer, and use the bounce effects to put them on the board. But it, like I said, the 3 of only relegates to those who can get 3 level 4 win monsters on the board. Once you can do that, I mean, Dragon is pretty much impenetrable uh, till unless you like Solemn it or you hit it with Dark Hole or Geki, which are cards that don't target. So that does become a problem. But it supports every Harpie card in the game from being targeted, which is great. If it had an ability that said or unaffected by card effect, um, which would be awesome as a boss monster. But for right now, the whole target thing is awesome. Like I said, you can use cards, a ton of the Harpie combos to get it out. Red Chili, there's nothing. The only downside to Dragon is, of course, it needs the 3 material. If it didn't need 3 material, it would be awesome. I also think it would be a rank 7, but that'd also make Harpie Chandler and Dragon combo even more beneficial. Other than that, there's really nothing wrong with Dragon that I can honestly say. As a support monster, I think this is honestly one of Harpie's best monsters. Despite the fact it's in the extra deck and you can easily just get into it. And I mean, I've done many of combos to get into it. I've showed off many plays that you can do with this monster to get it out. And it's just a really good card. And you have a ton of support cards to support monsters from being destroyed by card effects. So that won't really hurt Dragon. If you really do want to play out into keeping material on Dragon, you have like Overlay Recharge. Yeah. XYZ Overlay and XYZ Reborn. Just as some cards I can think of that can bring Dragon back or just put material onto Dragon. Other than that, it even supports its own it supports the Dragon monsters as well. So, it's just a really beneficial card. But yeah, I think at this point the only real issues, like I said, I've addressed. And the unfortunate part is, they aren't winged beasts. So I want to just bring up that they can't be used with this unless you like. I'm trying to figure out how this works with them. I guess because they're Harpie, you can play it on the field, but you'll still need a winged beast to even activate it. So this is the only unfortunate part for Dragon, the Harpies pet dragons, is that they can't use Featherstorm. But no, I mean, I really wanted to just let's just recap. The dragon monsters, despite their many losses, they have so many different advantages. If anyone hasn't seen my last duel video, I showed off the OCG build, the most recent OCG build of Harpies, where it was Harpie Chandler. It was pretty much a typical Harpie deck, and it teamed up to win a tag duel, a ladies only tag duel. But it was one of my favorite. One of the best things that I could see that I was really proud of was someone was using the dragons to not only the best of their ability, but to utilize their ability. I wish we had seen some duel videos of that to really showcase it. So that's why I did the video myself, to showcase and show that deck off. Other than that, there's really not much more for me to say. I don't want to string this video too long, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the end of the video. I've gone over everything I possibly could with these guys. So let me know what you guys think. Show some support and everything. Like, comment, subscribe, and till next time, HPJ signing out.